Hi, I'm Jeff Clark Jr., and this is Art and Underdogs. Today I'm joined by award winning actress, writer, producer, Kelly Fine. Kelly is the co owner of Looking Good Productions with Jen Nobile. Here's a trailer for her latest comedy, Therapy 101.
She wants me to pour hot wax on her breasts and lick it off.
Hey, hi! I'm Laura, but my friends call me Lucy.
Lucille Ball.
What gave it away?
Horrible fear of cats, especially kittens.
Hi, I'm Tom. I really want a ballroom dance.
Hi, I'm Marvin.
I want him to tie me up and pour hot wax on me. Oh my god, you're so crazy. No wonder Dad left.
That attitude will get you nowhere.
Just remember, this is a safe space, okay?
Who doesn't like redheads, huh?
Well, at least this was entertaining.
What's up, Kelly? Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me. That's quite an intro. Thank you.
You deserve it, Kelly.
Oh, yes. Keep it going.
So that trailer was from Therapy 101. It recently won Best Comedy Short, Best Movie Poster, and Best Female Filmmaker from the New Jersey Film Awards, right?
Yes, and the New York International Film Awards, too. So, yes,
Man,
quite exciting.
that's great. That's great.
Thank
So
you.
tell us a little bit about Therapy 101.
So, this is about a group of people that go to therapy with fears or issues or concerns that they have that they're really serious about. Like to them, this is like the end of the world stuff, right? But to everybody else, it's just absurd and ridiculous. And they actually wind up leaving therapy probably worse than when they started. And I also throw a little twist in there too, a little unexpected twist to keep it fun. But yeah, it was a great time filming. We had a blast.
What inspired you to write it?
So I have always been a big fan of Lucille Ball. I love her. I grew up watching her, and I just loved her physical comedy, everything that she did. And I knew one day I wanted to be able to write something for her, a tribute to her, something with her. I didn't want to play her because nobody could really play Lucille Ball. So I thought about, I would be this obsessed fan that would run her fan club, and I would want my daughter to one day take this on, and my daughter would think I am just out of my mind, ridiculous. She's mortified of me. And that's what kind of started the whole idea. And then it kind of like morphed into like we go to therapy and then we bring other people into it. But it really started with the whole idea of paying some type of tribute to Lucille Ball,
Really
which was a
cool.
blast.
That's the Lucy, I'm home, right?
Lucy, I'm home. Yeah, she was just, there wasn't many female comedians back in the day that could do all that physical stuff. And I don't think people realized, she was just brilliant at what she did. And I was just mesmerized with her. And growing up with watching her, I just thought she was just like the bomb.
Yeah. She was very, very popular. I remember the one scene where she's in like there's like a conveyor belt and she's working at a chocolate factory or
With
something.
the chocolates, yeah.
She keeps eating the chocolates and stuffing her mouth with the chocolates.
It's so funny. And what a lot of people don't know is off camera, she was very dry. She really didn't have much of a personality or a sense of humor. It was just when the cameras came on, like she came alive and she was like a different person. And she also had this really deep, almost manly voice. But when she was filming, she changed her voice a little bit. So it was just like fascinating to learn about her. So yeah, it was really a lot of fun to be able to, do something in honor of her for the film.
Yeah. That sounds a lot like me, actually. Dry off camera.
Stop.
So who were some of the actors in your film, and what was it like working with them?
Well, I used everyone that I go to acting class with at LaGuardia Acting School. We have to give a plug there. There's so many talented actors, right? And I knew I would be able to find the right people. But, comedy isn't easy. Not everybody feels comfortable doing comedy. So, you have to get that timing right, and you really have to, understand the rhythm. And I just took a shot on certain people, and let me tell you, they were unbelievable. Eddie Sutton, who plays Rocco, who has a fear of kittens and can't perform in the bedroom because his girlfriend's kitten is watching him. Um, I don't want to give too
That's
much
funny.
away, but
Yeah.
tough guy with the motorcycle jacket and the helmet, and he comes in, and he's like, talking about the fear of kittens. And he was great. He actually was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. And then just
Wow.
everybody else, I think
Congrats.
once they got into character, they just went for it. And a lot of improv happened, and we were able to do a lot of things that we weren't planning, and we took a lot of chances, and it was a lot of fun. I can't wait to share it with everyone.
I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I can't wait for
Uh,
you to see it.
yeah, yeah. Was it hard getting through those scenes with like the improv and the comedy and like everyone laughing at each other? Was it
Yeah,
kind of hard?
we had a really good time. And I just said to everyone, do what you want, have fun with it. If you have the urge to do something. So Steve, who plays Marvin, a bit of a nerd, he had a briefcase and he was doing certain things with it. And Richie, who plays Tom, he was doing some funny things. And we were just like, wow, where is all this coming from? And we just got more and more comfortable as we were going along, and we just tried really crazy things, and it just worked. So it was a lot of fun. And we didn't even need alcohol. I mean, imagine that.
What was your favorite part about the film?
Um, I think just the whole process, right? And you can attest to this. You have an idea and you
Mhm.
start writing something, and there's so much that goes into the whole process, writing the characters, creating and the jokes, and then the casting, and then filming, and then just the whole process. And I have to say,
Mhm.
it was just the whole thing from start to finish, watching it. And then, of course, your goal is to get into a film festival. And then when you start winning and you're like, people think it's really funny,
Yeah,
that is like, that's the bomb right there.
it's very rewarding. Yeah.
It is so rewarding. And the New York International Film Awards, they actually selected Therapy 101 to be screened at the Producers Club in New York. That
Oh,
happened
great.
a little while ago. Yeah, and it was really cool
Yeah.
because I was there with other award winners, actors and writers, producers, directors. And what was so cool was I didn't see it on the big screen. So to see it on the big screen with an audience and then hearing everybody laughing, I'm like,
Yeah.
they think it's funny. They actually think it's funny, because I
Right.
think
Right.
it's funny, but I don't know if anybody else will. So that was like golden for me.
Yeah. People could relate to it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Did you
Thank you.
run into any roadblocks filming Therapy 101?
Well, I had a couple of actors that unfortunately had to back out because one suddenly moved.
Mm,
Um, I'm like, what do you mean you're moving? Why? What do you mean you're moving to Texas? So I had to recast that. And oh, yeah. And then I had a girl
mhm.
that actually couldn't do it. So then I had to like frantically, like, oh my God, who am I going to like recast for this? Who could play this role? Who
Right.
could bring this to life? Who has the comedy chops? But you know what? Everybody was perfect. And I'm a big believer in things happen for a reason,
Oh yeah,
and
I agree with that.
it worked out the way it was supposed to work out. And everybody was like dynamite. They were so cool.
Were you able to recast that male role, or did you have to rewrite that part?
I did. I recast it.
Okay, that's good. Cool.
Yeah, with Steve, who honestly I think did a better job than I even thought the original person would have been good. But Steve just brought it. He is like so
Nice.
good at comedy. He played that part so well. And when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. He's
Okay.
just right on. Yeah,
Yeah, I look
so
forward to
cool.
it.
Thank you.
Nice. Is it still in the film festival circuit?
So, not right now. It did win a bunch of awards at other film festivals for
Hmm.
short script and best comedy. And I was actually nominated. I'm going to throw me a prop. Woo!
What'd you get
For
nominated
best
for?
actress.
Oh,
For
nice.
best actress. So that was really cool. I haven't entered it in any others. I think I might just wait a little bit, and then maybe in the summer, I'll
Yeah.
go and try a few more, you know. I'm just happy right well, you know what I'm just happy right now with everything that all all the great things that happened with this film. I didn't expect it
Yeah.
to, you know, be rewarded like this. So I'm just happy right now,
No, that's
whatever the
great.
outcome. I just wanted to get in one, so this is really cool.
No, it's a good attitude to have for yeah, because you never know how a film will do in like the film festivals.
You don't, you really don't,
It's yeah, the dumbest things could like a film I made, it was too long to get into a bunch of film festivals, like the programming.
Oh,
So you
really?
just never know. Like it could, it could be a decent film or a good film, and it
Right,
doesn't get in for whatever reason. So
right.
it's good to hear you're having some success with it for sure.
Well, thank you. And I know you have had the same, so you could totally relate because we know we put so much into it and,
Yeah,
and it's just like, it's a crapshoot, just like this whole
it is.
business, it's just a crapshoot. We just have to go and just have a sense of humor about it.
Yeah. Speaking of the business,
Yeah.
can you talk a little bit about your production company?
Sure. So Jen Noble, who I met in acting class, we started talking about writing and collaborating together. And I found out like she's really good at a lot of technical things. I'm
Hmm.
not. I suck on a computer. I can't. I'm lucky I was able to log on. I'm really bad. So where I'm really weak, she's really strong, great at marketing. And she actually did all the editing for Therapy 101,
Oh
which
wow.
was amazing. Yeah. So, and we wanted to be able to write stuff that, we loved, that we could have a creative vision over and we could
Yeah,
control the process. So we said, let's start a production company. So we came up with Looking Good Productions, and the rest is history.
it's a good name. I like it,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
especially for Kelly Fine.
Well, thank
Looking
you.
good.
Looking good. My middle name is Sue. And years ago,
Okay.
when I was doing the acting, I used my middle name, so my middle initial, so it looked like Kelly's Fine. I thought that was like so
Ah.
clever, but now I look back and I'm like, "Oh, what was I? I don't know what I was thinking."
It's part of the story. It's
Exactly.
part of your journey.
Exactly.
How many films have you written and produced?
Two. I've done two. My first one was when I collaborated with Jen, and it was called Mirage, and it was a short horror film.
Okay.
And it was just the both of us in it. And it did really well in the film festivals, won a lot of awards. And I think that's what kind of like lit a spark in me like, wow, I mean, if I'm getting this kind of recognition, maybe I'm onto something here, like maybe I need to continue writing and trying different things. So, yeah, so it did really well. And I was nominated for awards for my acting and then the film. And Jen was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And we just had a blast doing it because we work really well together when we bounced a lot of ideas off of one another. And I'm like, hey, I don't have the attention to detail like you do. So, just throw the ideas out there. So it turned out
Yeah.
to be, a big success in my eyes for me. That was my first one.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the arts. You meet people in these different communities who you can work with and who you click with, and you get to make art together. I think that's great.
True. It's so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a great journey so far, no matter what happens,
Yeah.
just to be able to, write and create and collaborate. To me, that's the best part of it.
It really
I mean,
is.
making money would be great too. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, right now it's good. I'll take this.
That's the goal to make money and do it at the same time. Do what you love, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Do you prefer acting or your filmmaking with your production company?
um, Definitely acting first.
Yeah.
But I do love writing the stories and creating as well. But I would say acting.
Okay. Are you working on any films right now or anything new coming up?
So I've been working on some stand up. That was another
Mm,
goal I wanted to do. So since I write, I figured, well, I might as well write my own jokes. And again, I think they're funny. And I'll be in the car with like my friends or out with my friends or my husband, and I'll like throw a joke out there, and I'll see what lands or something. My friends are easy. My husband much tougher.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, But so I have a coach that I've been working with, and he said, get out there and perform. You need to start performing. So I'm a little nervous. I was supposed to actually perform at Gotham Comedy Club
Okay.
last month, but I got bumped. So I think I'm going to be doing it the end of February, beginning of March sometime. I just want to get out there and just do one and just see what it's like. I told my friends, none of you are coming because I want to see who's going to laugh for real because I know my friends
Yeah.
will laugh. So I said, I just want to get up there and get on stage and just, see what happens. So I'm a
Yeah.
little nervous, but I really want
Yeah.
to
No,
do it.
I'd be nervous. You're very brave.
Um, you know,
I follow, Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn and all these comedians. I listen to their podcasts, and they say like bombing is just a part of it. Even like the greats bomb all the time, like when they're working out
yeah,
material.
they say that, and it's just like acting. Like they say, you're going to get a million no's before you get a yes. You just have to really just keep going. You just have to keep going and going. You have to have that thick skin, and you have to just say, I love this. I'm so passionate about this. Sometimes I'm like, what the hell am I doing? What am I putting myself through? But
I
at
know.
the end of the day, we all love it. That's why we're
I
here.
know.
So, it's like, all right, what else do I have to do? Let's go. I'll keep going.
Yep. Yeah. That's why. Right. That's why we do it.
Yeah,
We love it. It's
we
it's a
love it.
sick. It's a sick, twisted disease.
It really is. I mean, you can't explain it to people, but it really is.
I know. So yeah, let's move on to the underdog story. Um, I'm gonna ease in with a simple question. Where did you grow up, and what was it like?
So I grew up in lovely Parsippany, New Jersey. Grew up on a cul-de-sac with kids my age and the elementary school right next door to my house. So this was when we didn't have iPhones and computers. So we were out all the time. I was putting on plays and, acting and performing. And it was a good time. It was a nice time. And it was a different time, quite honestly, because I think it's so different now. It's such a different world. And it was a time where we could just be free
Yeah,
and we never had to worry about anything. So I had really nice childhood memories. It was a nice place to grow up for sure.
that's great. But what was your fondest memory that you could think of as a
Um,
kid?
Probably putting on plays
Yeah.
for the neighborhood. I was always performing, and I would like actually bribe people and be like, "Hey, come on over. My mom's going to make pizza for us." And then everyone would come over, and there was no pizza, but I would have like something set up to entertain, and they were just like, I don't know. I don't know how I had any friends. I was a lot. Um, Actually, when I was in kindergarten, my teacher called up my mom, and she's like, "Listen, your daughter is a big distraction." My mother's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "She doesn't follow the rules. She just gets up. She starts dancing. She's telling stories. She told a story about being kidnapped with a dog. I just made stuff up." My mother's like, "What the hell? What is
That's
she doing?"
hilarious.
And she's like, "We can't have this." So, my mom was pretty firm and she was like, "You can't do this stuff, Kelly. This isn't good for you." And I didn't understand, I thought this was fun. So, we had an agreement that I could only entertain, on the playground, not in the classroom. But,
Yeah.
I didn't care. I was a rule breaker.
So, so were you like the class clown in high school? Like, were
I
you always making people
wasn't.
laugh? And
I
no?
did. I did make people laugh. Yes, as far as we had a lot of fun. Um, but I think it wasn't till I don't know. That's a really good question. I think I was always making people laugh, to be honest with you, because I had that I didn't give a shit kind of attitude. I said what was on my mind. There wasn't a filter. But then in high school, it's kind of more like, more about the boys and you're going to the parties and you want to look good. So you didn't want to be like too kooky.
Right,
But
right, right,
but
right.
I was
Yep.
always entertaining in some form. And I did a lot of pageants and I definitely was not the pageant type. I mean, these were girls that, studied the piano or the violin and ballet. And I was like, kind of, I was Jersey, and I would just get up and just start dancing. But I was a good bullshitter, I think. And I think the judges like, oh, she has like charisma or something about her. So I never
You were a good
actually,
actor, right?
yes, I guess
Not
a
a
good,
bullshitter, an actor.
that's good. I'll take that. That sounds
Well,
much better.
were
I
you in
never,
any, were you in like the drama group and
I,
all that stuff, or
I did not do that in high school. No, I
any?
did it outside of high school. I
Mm.
took class, I went to dancing school, and I did the pageants. Actually, won Miss Congeniality in one pageant. And when people would come up and like little girls doing like the pageant circuit and they would ask for my autograph. I didn't know how to spell congeniality. I'm like, Mom, how do I spell this? And like my poor parents, I don't know how they dealt with me. My mother would like, just write the friendly one. I'm like, okay, the friendly one I would write. I didn't even know how to spell congeniality. I don't even think I knew what it meant at the time, but I got a trophy and I was happy.
Funny you should mention that. I was in the Mr. Pensgrove pageant my senior year in high school. I got talked into doing it.
Wait, I have to tell me
Uh huh.
everything right
Uh
now.
huh. Yeah, yeah. We did an intro dance to Boys to Men Motown Philly,
That's great.
and
That's awesome.
and it was the year 2000,
Oh,
and
wow.
I won Mr. Congeniality.
You did?
Yeah,
See
so we have
that?
that. We have that in common.
You see what's happening here? Next time we'll bring all our trophies out and we'll just talk about all our trophies.
Yeah, I didn't win a trophy. I
That's,
won like one of those ribbons. This
oh,
what they call
the
sash.
sash?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's funny.
Too
Mr.
funny.
and
I
Miss
got talked
Congeniality.
into that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't know they had that. Like I thought maybe you did like, I don't know, like maybe a wet t-shirt or something or best abs or something. I don't know.
Oh my gosh! And I was such a jock in high school too. That I was like, all right, I'm just
Did
gonna
you
go
play
for it.
football?
Yeah, football, wrestling.
Wrestle?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was into art a lot too. I loved art classes, but yeah,
Oh,
I
really?
was more of a jock. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah,
athletic.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Well, I loved high school because of you jocks. I mean, the football parties, I mean, we got all dressed up and we'd go to the parties after, that was like, the big
yeah,
deal for us, going, watching,
yeah,
your boyfriend play and wearing his jacket, it's like,
yeah. The varsity jacket. Yeah,
yeah,
I like the pep rallies. Pep rallies are fun.
they were the best. And
Yeah, yeah.
when I went to school, I went to Passaic Valley and we actually won football. I think we won our division one year and then we came in second the next. We played at the Meadowlands. So that was really
Oh wow,
cool. That
that's
was,
great.
yeah, yeah, that was fun.
Nice.
I
Did
was
you?
always into sports. I never played sports, but
I
I
was just
was
gonna
always
ask you
into.
if you played any.
No, no, I was just too, no. Are you kidding me? I trip over my own feet. Now I'm into it. Now working out and running and, biking and
That's
hiking. But
great.
back then, no, I, I
Gotcha.
was not good.
What type of jobs did you have? Like
Well,
growing
the
up,
big
like in high school and
Yeah, in high school, it was all retail. We all worked at the mall, we had our little outfits because, it was all about like, who's working in what store and what boys were working there. And,
yeah.
and then I don't know if you even remember this because I'm older than you, but what was really popular in the mall at the time was they had little food stands and the stuffed potato was like the big hit back then. And
Oh yeah.
lunchtime, everyone would go get like the stuffed potato with like cheddar and bacon or sour cream. Like we lived for that. That was the big deal. So that was like the cool thing about working in the mall, going to get your stuffed potato. I know it sounds like so weird, but like back then, these were like the highlights. Okay, how
Oh, it's
sad is that?
hilarious. That's hilarious. The stuffed potato at the mall. It's the highlight of the day.
That was the highlight, Jeff.
That's too funny. I like stuffed potatoes. Yeah.
I mean, I do too. I mean, now I just have to like run 4 miles to burn it off. But there's nothing like a good potato.
Yeah, yeah. Too funny. Oh my god, you're killing me over here. I'm done. My face is gonna hurt at the end of this. It's like,
Good, good. Yes. Mission accomplished.
so did you go to college after high school? What did you do after high school?
I did. So,
Okay.
I really wanted to go to a performing arts high school, of course, but that wasn't going to happen. Again, I thought I had talent. I probably didn't. But my mom was like, nah, you have to go to college. You have to get a degree. I don't care what the hell you do after. You want to do your acting, but you need a degree. And looking back, of course, she was right. So I went to Fairleigh Dickinson, and I was a political science major. And I didn't live at school. We couldn't afford that, but I commuted, which was probably better because I probably would have partied the whole time if I lived there. So, yeah, I went to college, and as soon as the last day happened in college, everyone was like saying goodbye in the parking lot, like everyone that commuted. And I remember people are crying and saying goodbye, and I just like had all these books, and I just like threw them in the parking lot, and I was like, "Peace out! I'm out of here. I will never read another book in my life. I don't give a shit what happened. I don't care about math or science. I don't care. I want to act." And then that was really
Wow.
like the beginning of everything.
Man, so you knew that you wanted to be an actress
It was,
before college, but you just kind of gutted it out and was like, "Alright, get this
yeah.
degree."
I did
Wow.
things always on the side, the
Mhm.
dancing classes or the acting classes. Performing somehow, the pageants to keep me just to perform somehow. But yeah, it was like the second I was done, it's like, okay, now let me really do what I want to do. I wasn't political science, wasn't going to be a lawyer. I mean, are you kidding me? Me, a lawyer? I couldn't spell
You probably
congeniality.
hey, you're a good actor.
Well,
You
yeah, that's
probably would have
true.
been a good lawyer. There's a
If I
lot of
was
acting
smart
going
enough,
on.
you never know exactly. I would have to, I would guess I would have had to read a book or something, but I don't know how I got through college, but I did. But yeah, I couldn't wait just to be done to really start to do what I really wanted to do.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many stories like that, you know? And it's kind of a good thing because acting is so hit or miss, and there's so, like you said before, there's so much rejection. It's good to have something to fall back on.
It
Um,
really is, and
yeah.
because I did acting for most of my life, and
Mhm.
then I gave it up for a while, and then when I came back from California, um, I needed a job. And it
Yeah.
was like, thank God I had that degree because I probably would have had to work, in the mall or something. And just, if I wanted to make money or do something, it was like I had the degree to fall back on. So, I hated to say, but my mom was right. I cursed her out for 4 years. It's like, why am I here? I want to perform.
Yeah. So as an actor, what's your favorite memory so far?
Once I got out of college, I really wanted to live this dream. And
Mhm.
this is actually a funny story. Um, I was at a club one night, whoop, whoop, shoulder pads, big hair, dancing. And I see this guy that was actually in one of my dancing classes. And I saw him and I was like, oh, shit, Tom's here. Like, let me just stay away from him. But, eventually I ran into him and he's like, hey, Kelly, I got to tell you this. I got signed by this huge manager. Her name is Shirley Grant. I'm going out on auditions. You can use my name. Call her up. She's amazing. She discovered so many people. And I was like, what? Oh
Wow.
my God, are you kidding me? And like here I'm thinking I was trying to avoid this guy for like 2 hours. And again, things happen for a reason, right?
Right.
So I get her number, and this is before, the internet and Google and everything.
Yep.
You can look her up in the phone book. Um,
So Google,
Grant,
look her up in the Google.
look
Yeah.
her up in the Google. And so it took me 6 months to get the courage to call this woman because I'm like, what am I going to say to her? I don't have any credit. I won Miss Congeniality, and I did a play. What am I going to say to this woman who, from what he was telling me, she had a lot of like child stars. And 6 months it took. And one day I'm home and Madonna is on the TV and she's giving an interview and she's talking about how you have to, pave your own way and you have to like go out there and just take chances and do it. And whatever it was like, oh my God, I got to call this woman now or I'm never going to do it. So I pick up the phone, doop, doop, dial on the landline,
Yep.
and,
Yep.
and, I almost hung up because I was calling so many times and would hang up. I couldn't, I was so
Mm,
nervous, I didn't
wow.
know what to say. And all of a sudden I hear like Shirley Grant. And I was like, oh, hi, my name is Kelly Fine. I was referred to by Tom and started talking. And she's like, oh my God. She said, this is so weird. I left my glasses downstairs on the desk in my office, and I just went down to get them, and the phone rang, and I picked it up. And I was like, again, I feel like everything on this journey for me has been about, like, I don't want to say coincidence. No, things happen for a reason. And I was like, oh my God. And then I just started babbling. I couldn't even tell you what I said. I was so nervous because for me, this was like do or die, you know? And I'm like,
Yeah,
I'd love
yeah.
to come and meet you. And I think she was just like, oh, whatever. She's like, all right, we'll call my office next week and we'll set up an appointment. And I called for 3 weeks. I kept calling. Oh, she's busy. Oh, she doesn't have time. Kelly, who, Kelly? And I was like, oh, no, I'm not giving up. So eventually, I think they were just sick of me calling. And they brought me in. I went in to see her. And I see all like pictures on her wall of like Keisha Knight Pullum and J.D. Roth. And I don't even know if you remember a lot of these. These were like stars from the 80s.
Okay.
And Allison Smith and Shirley actually managed the Jonas Brothers. She helped start their career, but that was like after my time in more of the 90s when I wasn't with her anymore. But so I get in there and there's a room full of people downstairs and she's like, barely talking to me. And she's like, all right, here's 3 commercial scripts. Stand over there and read for everyone. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, this is it. They're like, this is do or die. Like, don't fuck it up. You know, that's all I kept thinking, you know, like this is it. And I just wanted it so badly. And I remember I stood up there and I read one. She goes, okay, next. And no emotion. She showed no emotion. I wanted applause. Yeah. I wanted her to start throwing money, making it rain to me. You know, I wanted her to be like, you're a star. You're a star. And she, sat there, she had her glass. And then when I was done, like everyone was really nice. She had glasses. She lowered them. She goes, well, if I'm going to send you out, you're going to have to go to speech class because I can't have you sounding like you're from New Jersey. And I'm like, me? What are you talking about? You know, I don't have an accent. So now I had to go to speech class for, I can't tell you how many months, but I kept checking in and then I had to go get headshots. And then I was persistent. I was not letting this go. And then finally she took a chance and started sending me out to agents, getting feedback. And then it took like 8-9 months. I booked a huge national commercial for peanut butter M&Ms. It was a new product.
Wow.
And I got my SAG card and then she signed me. She did not sign me until I booked something. So that was the story. That's how it all began for me. And that was just like, I can't even tell you. I was like, I got a commercial.
That's a great story. That's a great story. I love that. Man, so you're SAG. You're still SAG.
I'm SAG, and yeah, it's tough.
It's a great, like, you know, what do you call it? Landmark, benchmark, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
But man, it starts getting hard because you can't do the non-union stuff anymore, and then you can't, you know, there's lots of stuff that you have to like turn down and say, oh, I can't do this, even if it's paid. You know,
it's true.
It has to be SAG, so it's you're like this next level, so it's even more difficult, right?
Exactly, because now you're really competing, and there's so many. Let's get this straight too, and you know this. There's so many talented non-union actors, so many, and a lot of them want to stay non-union because there's more work, and you may not get paid as much, you may not be protected, but you're working, and like you said, you have to turn stuff down. So now we're competing against people that have been working and have names. So I have an amazing manager, but now I'm competing against people that are coming off of shows and, you know, like, who's going to look at Kelly Fine? You know, I mean, it's tough. It's really tough. Yeah. So again, you have to have that thick skin and just keep going and just say, you know what? I don't give a shit. I'm just going to keep going. Who cares?
Yeah. It's very competitive and it's a lifelong thing. You just have to stick with it. Yeah.
And I don't think people realize, like when you get a show, I don't think they realize like what goes into it, how long the process is from just getting an audition to maybe getting a callback or then going to producers. I had so many things that I lost, you know, and you can't explain it until you're with other actors because you know the process and you've been through it. it's a difficult journey. Again, we put
Hmm.
ourselves in here. We love it, and then as long as I could perform in some capacity, I'm happy. Um, I haven't resorted to OnlyFans yet, but I do have some ideas kicking around.
Kelly's fine, right?
Kelly's
That would be
fine.
the OnlyFans name.
I was thinking of
Kelly's
like,
fine.
Bad Kitty or something. My husband's like, I don't care. If you're going to make money, just go do it. I'm like, thanks, hon.
Oh man. So so how long have you been acting then?
So I started acting, well, like I said, always performing, but true acting as soon as I got out of college.
Hmm.
And then after about a couple of years, Shirley said, I want you to go to California for pilot season. Now, this is when pilot season was really pilot season,
A big
January,
deal.
February, March. Yeah, they're casting all these new shows. So I was supposed to go out for 3 months, and I wound up staying in California for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was an unbelievable experience, and a lot of heartbreaks too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you book any work out there?
I did. I did book
Nice.
work, and I also lost work. But I did. I did a movie. I went to Greece to
Mm,
co-host a pageant, and we could talk about that. What happened?
okay,
A
okay.
music videos, a feature role on a soap opera, but also screen testing and getting so close. And, what killed me was, I left my friends, my family. I had a boyfriend for 6 years. All my friends are getting engaged and, planning their wedding. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go to California for 3 months. And my friends were like, what are you doing? They're like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, my manager wants to send me out there. I'm going.
Yeah,
And I went, and every time I got so close, I would cry. I'd be like, this is it. This is why I'm doing this. I'm up for this part and I'm up for this movie or this soap opera. And then you don't get it. And then you're like, got to start all over again. So,
yeah.
yeah, I know. It's
So
nice. We could feel the pain together.
I know. So that's a good segue. Do you regret anything about pursuing this business?
Nothing, not one
No.
thing, because the experiences I've had were, I mean, just unbelievable experiences that I
Mm,
never would have gotten. If I stayed home and never went to California, I probably would have been married to that boyfriend, not my current husband. And I probably would have had kids. And I'm not knocking any of it. That's all
yeah,
wonderful for people that really want that. But what I would have missed out on, going to Paramount, going to Warner Brothers, the parties, meeting the people. I mean, I met so many incredible, famous people that I hung out with and talked to, and I never would have had that in my life. So no regrets at
yeah.
all.
No regrets, right?
No regrets.
uh, no, thank you for sharing that. So I'm motivated and inspired by people who overcome adversity. This is the reason I'm doing this podcast because I love the stories and I love the the underdog story. Do you have any stories that you could share where you were faced with a lot of struggle and then you were able to overcome and come out on the other side and you've learned something from it?
Yeah, absolutely. When I was out in California, well, even before actually, talking about getting close, because we know how hard it is to get anything, you just hope for an audition. Um, so I booked a big commercial for MTV, and this is when MTV was like, really huge, when they actually play music.
Yeah.
And it was great. And I booked this huge commercial. All of a sudden, I feel like I can't say that word. And then I went and I had my
All
fitting.
right.
And then when I came home, my manager calls and says, Kelly, they just scrapped the whole commercial. They don't have money for the budget. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I just told 7 million people,
Mm,
my grandmother, everybody, they all know. She's
yeah.
like, I'm sorry. And then when I was out in California couple of years later, I booked a small role on Days of Our Lives. We called it Under Fives. Now they say feature. And
Mm,
I was playing this young mom who was going to register her baby for daycare. It was a whole storyline around the main people in the soap opera. So for rehearsals, they gave me a plastic doll to rehearse with. So I
Okay.
would come out with the doll and say my lines, and then I'd go back. And when it was time to actually film, they hand me this real baby. And
Mm.
the freaking kid is screaming at the top of its lungs. I'm like holding it like it's poison. I missed my mark the first time. Then they're like, all right, get her out. The kid's crying. Like, I guess naturally people would have been like, it's okay. But me, I'm like, shut up. Shut the fuck up. I was so pissed that the kid's like 3 months old. I wanted
You're
to
ruining
throw
my
it on.
moment.
I wanted
Yeah,
to
yeah.
throw it on the floor. I'm like
Oh my
squeezing it like it's a grape underneath. I'm like, shut the hell up.
Oh my God.
And the director looked at me and goes, thank you.
Mm.
So you actually saw me for 20 seconds, like walking in, holding something, and that was it. The whole thing was scrapped. And then I booked a commercial. So excited, telling everybody about it. And the Northridge earthquake happened in California. Now, I don't want to sound, like unsympathetic. People died. This was really horrific.
Yeah.
But, my agent calls and he's like, so they're going to scrap the commercial. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's
Mm.
like, the earthquake, they can't do it. There's too much going on. I'm like, can't they just postpone it or something? And they're like, no. And then we mentioned Greece earlier.
Yes.
When I did a movie, the director that was directing this movie was from Greece, and he said, I'm going to be producing and directing the Miss Europe pageant in Greece, and I would like you to come to Greece and do like the backstage interviews. It was kind of like the comedy piece of it,
Yeah.
I was so excited, but I was also so nervous because now I'm going to be going like to Greece. I've never been to Europe before. I was going with two other girls. I woke up that morning and I had a fever blister on my lip.
Mm.
And now I'm hysterical crying. I think it was just from stress, anxiety. And now, I have to leave. I have to go to the airport. I can't do anything. I don't know if you ever had a fever blister, but it's like throbbing. It grows. It's
Mhm.
like it's actually growing on the plane. And like the girls I'm with, they're like, it doesn't look too good. And like I'm checking it. I'm putting
Yeah.
ice on it. And then when I land, I see the director and he comes over to hug me and he's like, what's that? And I'm like, it's a fever blister, but it go away. He goes, well, if that's not away when we film, you're not in it.
Damn.
So, like now I'm going to drugstores in Greece. And we have dinners, we have press. We're there with people that were from one of the soap, The Bold and the Beautiful. They were hosting it. There was like Neil Sedaka. I think he was like 200 years old at the time. He was performing. And I have this like fever blister and I'm putting everything on it. So finally the day that we have to film, it's like it formed a scab. And the makeup artist is like, I don't know what to do with you. I'm like, just cover it. Let's go. You're an artist. Create art. So she covers it. And the director looks at me and he goes, all right, well, we're going to film you pretty far away. So he filmed me far away and cut most of the scene.
Damn.
So I just say, well, I got a free trip to Greece. That's how I had to look at it,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
and then the last thing is when I came home, eventually from California and got married, the whole thing. And then I decided about 4 years ago, I wanted to get back. I had to get back into this. This was my passion. This is all I wanted to do. I missed it so much. And I wind up booking a commercial. One of the first few auditions I get, I book a commercial and COVID happens. They scrap the commercial. I'm like,
Can't win. You
what
just
the
can't
hell,
win.
man?
Yeah.
What the hell? Keep throwing it at me. It's all right. I'm still smiling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think of the two masks, the smiling and the frowning.
Exactly.
It's like,
Exactly.
jeez.
It's tough. And it's like, why do we do this to ourselves? I don't, because we love it. Because we love it.
Yeah, man, that's hard.
It's
Do you
hard.
do you believe in God? Do you think like
Yes.
it's
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
100%. Without a doubt.
yeah,
My guiding force. And I can't say that to a lot of people. I mean, I
yeah,
know you do too.
yeah,
So I feel very
absolutely.
comfortable
1000%.
saying
Yeah.
that to you because I sometimes I have to pick my audience and be careful with that because people
Fuck
will
'em.
look at you like,
Forgive my French, but
I know.
fuck 'em.
But from the
Sorry.
time when I started performing when I was young, I felt like I did have some kind of calling, and it's something you can't explain to people. But I think that has been my force to keep me going and to guide me on this journey.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mean to drop f bombs, but I get so irritated about that. We're forced to believe and to accept other people. Why can't we be accepted too as Christians?
Exactly,
We
exactly,
should all be accepted, everyone.
absolutely.
Um, so yeah, I don't have a problem saying that at all. I am not embarrassed of God at all or Jesus. I'm
No,
not embarrassed.
no.
So
And Jeff, I'm
yeah,
actually Jewish. So for
okay,
me, to talk about that, again, pick and choose your audience. I found,
hmm
at times it was a difficult conversation for people to hear or want to hear. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's like what I believe and what I feel and
yeah,
what I know. And I think faith, for me, has really just brought me to these amazing places and
yeah,
all these incredible experiences I've had has been because of, God.
yes. I really believe that. I do.
Mhm. We could
Man.
get deep,
So,
man. We
so
could
yeah,
get
no,
really
no,
deep right now.
we can
Yeah,
trust me. I have some pretty crazy stories. So
share one day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is your time though.
No,
But no, I think that maybe God doesn't. I don't feel like God tests us, but he creates opportunities for us to learn and to grow and to evolve. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like
100%.
all of these things that you've been through, he's just evolving you. He's just he's helping you grow into
Absolutely. I could not
yeah,
agree with you more.
yeah.
I was faced in California with a lot of tragedy. It was the time when AIDS was really big,
hmm
and I knew a lot of people in the industry that passed away. And I lost a friend, and
Yeah.
it changes how you see things. And one of the things that happened to me was I was working in a very high end shoe store on Melrose, and because I had to make money. And
Yeah.
one day, this woman walks into the store, and she was probably like maybe in her mid 60s, late 60s, and she looked very disheveled. She was carrying bags. The way she was dressed, she looked like a homeless person. But when
Mm.
she sat down and she took off her shoes and she was asking me to show her some shoes, I noticed that she had a pedicure and I noticed her nails were done. So I knew she wasn't homeless. She just was disheveled and just,
Eccentric, maybe.
yeah, eccentric.
Yeah.
So when I walked in the back to get her shoes, my manager came over to me and she was like, um, get her out of here. Don't wait on her. She's homeless. And I'm like, no, she's not. Trust me. Her nails are done. She's not going to buy anything. So anyway, I went out. I was being pleasant to the woman. The woman, she wasn't really friendly. She didn't say much, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Make the sale. So we go up to the counter, and then the woman is digging through her bag. She opens up something. She hands my manager a credit card, and my manager is like, "Do you have ID?" And it was just the way she said it, and I like kind of looked at my manager, and I'm like, and the woman's like, "Excuse me," and she goes, "Do you have ID? I don't know if this is you." And the woman was like, "How dare you?" And she takes her card and she has her bags and she's swinging them around the store and she's screaming. And I couldn't even understand her. And she's knocking everything over. And like, I was just like, oh my God. And she went outside and she's screaming something like, "I'll be back," or something. So I said to my manager, like, "Why did you do that?" And she's like, "That wasn't her. That wasn't her." So the next day, I'm in my apartment and I'm eating and have the news on, and they're like, "Oh, breaking story from earlier. The bus was hijacked downtown. The bus driver was killed." And I'm like, eating and I'm watching this. We're going to have to bring the SWAT team in because the hijacker is not cooperating. And I'm just watching this. This is like, I hate to say it, typical LA. There's always something, riot, something going on. But, this person killed the bus driver and all the people are on the bus and they were showing the people sitting and they showed, you could see like the hijacker walking, and
Mhm.
now they're like, we'll come back to you. And then they come back and they're like, this is live. The SWAT team's moving in. They killed the hijacker. I'm like, oh God, that's creepy. So the next day, they follow up on the story and they put the picture up of the hijacker, and it was the woman from the shoe store.
Oh my god.
And they said she had the guns in her bag.
Oh man.
I was like, I call up my manager. I'm like, did you see the news? Did you see who that was? She's like, what are you talking about? I go, the woman that was the woman from the shoe store. We could have been killed. And I have to tell you,
Jeez.
man, that really messed me up. Like, I thought about that. She could have pulled a gun out. We could have been dead. Like, all because,
Yeah.
my manager just couldn't who cares? Take her credit
Oh,
card.
she
Why do you
was
have to be like that? You know what I mean?
yeah.
I feel like I was protected, like
Yeah, your manager was a goner.
she was a goner.
You would have
I
been
may have
okay.
been
You would have
spared,
been okay.
but in
But
that
that's
moment of
crazy story.
rage, when you saw that woman swinging the bags and
Yeah, yeah.
screaming and that fit of rage, I mean, she could have just went like this. She could have killed people outside.
Yeah,
And
true.
this is way before you heard of school shootings and all these things that happen now.
Mhm.
And it was a woman of all things,
Yeah.
They killed her on the bus. It was unbelievable. So it
Wow.
really messed with me. It really did, and I'm like, what am I doing here? Is this where I'm supposed to be? And, do I feel safe? My family's like, come home, come home. So I actually did go home for a couple of weeks. But at the end of the day, I had to go back. This was my dream. This is what I wanted to do. I couldn't let this define me. I couldn't let this end my passion, my dream. I had to end it on my own. I had to decide when the time was right, and it wasn't right. So I went back, and then I stayed about another year.
Wow.
Crazy,
That's
right?
that's that's a lot to unpack.
I know.
Jeez.
It is a lot to unpack. I can't even
Man,
believe it's a truth.
I'm glad you weren't hurt. I mean, yeah, that could have been really bad. That could have
Yeah,
been really bad, and man, yeah,
I know. And you
someone was
had that.
looking out for you. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Because
Jeez.
in that moment, I mean, and then I think, what set her off? I mean, it was the next day that I was watching this. Like, did
Yeah.
we trigger her somehow? Did we
Mm.
do something? And then I had that guilt, like somebody died. Or, was that, because of, our action? Well, not so much me, but still, you still can't help but feel guilty.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
the mental illness just yeah,
Exactly.
she just snapped. Just
She
snapped.
snapped. Yeah.
Yeah,
And this is again before you really
sucks.
heard a lot about mental illness and all that.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't really hear a lot. Just heard about this crazy woman that
Yeah,
hijacked the
exactly,
bus.
that's what we just call just crazy people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. We
we don't
didn't
start thinking
understand. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad you're okay, and, what you learned from that experience, you've carried with you for all these years,
For
obviously.
sure. First of all, never
Yeah.
ask anyone for ID. It's okay. Let them pay. Let them buy for whatever they want. It's okay.
Man, yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you have a lot of stories, Kelly. Well, I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad you're here with us, and you've learned so much from it. And it's you're so talented, and I've always kind of been drawn to you, even though we're not like close or anything. And I just feel like you have a good spirit, you have a good personality, and
Thank you.
you seem like a good person.
That means a
And
lot. Thank you.
yeah, yeah,
You know, that's all we could be is our best, right? Try to live
yeah.
our best lives and be best people. I mean,
Hmm.
that's all I would want. That would be the best journey for me is, just to be an awesome friend in person and,
Yeah,
you know, do good in some way.
yeah. And you and Jen, creating that looking good productions together. I feel like that's a good fit because you both are like really good people, and
Oh,
I
she
think
is. She's so
yeah,
talented. And,
yeah, she is. Yep.
you know, so
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get to create
Some
with
more,
her
some more
soon. Yeah.
collaborations. Yeah.
And,
That'd be
maybe in the
great.
future we can create too. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to.
We could have a lot of fun.
And I'm stuck in SAG hell though at the moment. So,
No,
so
I feel
I'm
your
trying to
pain.
figure it out. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
No, I feel your pain. It's a
Yeah.
status you want to achieve, and then you achieve it, and you're kind of like,
Yeah. No,
it's hard.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's what every actor wants is to gain that union status and to be on network TV, have speaking roles, and to
Right.
get that union status, to get this SAG membership, and you get it, and
Exactly.
it's just like you're a freshman again, so you have to kind of like feel it out and
Right.
figure it out.
And again,
But
like I said, you're actually now competing with, you know,
yeah,
talent that have been working and, are coming off of shows. And,
hmm,
a lot of times, they'll say, I want a name or, so it's like,
yeah,
well, I'll probably get the audition for like the under fives, which is fine. I don't care what it is. I want to
yeah,
work. It doesn't matter to me. But then I'm like, when am I going to get that, network show that I could, actually, have a lead audition for? That
yeah.
would be amazing.
And I just believe, we have the same acting coach, one of our same acting coaches, and he was saying the same things, like, what's going on with your agent? Like, what's going on? It's you should be on something. You should have like be with a big agency. And I'm like, listen, and I've told other people this too. Like, it's in God's hands.
Right.
You can't rush it. You can't force it.
No,
Just do the best you can, and then leave it up. The rest is up to God. He already has a plan for you. You just got to keep going. That's all.
exactly. You have to
Yeah.
you have to believe in that plan, and you have to be patient. And
Yep.
it's so hard at times because we want that instant gratification. I've had so many amazing auditions where I didn't even get a call back. And I'm like, oh, come on. Like, at least throw me a bone,
Yeah. Yeah.
or a callback on something that I didn't even think I was that good at. Like I can't even figure it out. So I have to try to stop figuring it out and just
Yeah.
just go with it, And that's why being able to create these films and write and just have a passion for creating this work on our own, at least we're doing something and we're getting, I mean, how
Yeah.
my manager, when I had to kind of like, interview with her, I was referred to her from another acting coach. And she's like, why you? Why should I take you on?
Mm.
And I was like, well, why should I take you on? I said to her, she goes, no, that's perfect. She goes, but tell me. And I said, well, you know what? I'm not just in class. Not that that's a bad thing in any way. I said, but I'm grinding, I'm making movies. I'm creating art. I'm getting in film festivals. I'm getting nominated for my work, my talent. I
Yeah.
said, I think that says a lot. And she's like, it does. And that's why she signed me.
Yeah. Those little wins kind of reinforce why you're doing it. It's like,
Right.
okay, I'm doing something right, right?
Exactly.
This is going to
Exactly.
work out. Just stick with it.
Right.
um who said this? I think it was Seth Rogen. He was being interviewed by someone, and he was like, if you damn it, what did he say? He said, if you keep going, you you might make it. If you quit, you definitely won't, you know? And
That
that's
is
yeah,
so
that's
true.
that's what it sums up to, right? It's like,
Right,
you just
exactly,
gotta
and
stick
that's
with it.
exactly it. You might, you may never, but for me, and you
Yeah.
probably feel the same way, I could not live my life saying, "Why didn't I try? Why didn't I do
Yeah.
it?" I don't care how old I am, I'm getting older, I don't care about any of that.
Nope.
I never wanna look back, man, and be like, I who
Yeah.
thought, and you probably felt the same way. Did you I don't know, did you ever think you were gonna write something that was gonna get in film festivals and win awards? Like, and it's
No.
like I never thought that, but you know what? You just do it,
Yeah.
and you can't listen to anybody else. You just have to do it. And I'm the
Yeah.
type of person like you tell me no, oh, I'm gonna do it even harder now, because I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you,
Yeah, it sets that fire under you. Yeah.
it does,
Yeah, it
yeah.
really does.
And you can't lose that
Mhm.
fire. And there are times sometimes, it gets a little dim, but you can't lose that because that's what's keeping us going.
Yes, totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, keep going, Kelly. You're
Woohoo!
doing amazing things.
You too.
So let's move on to the quick questions game to end the podcast.
Okay.
This is something I stole from
Great. I love it already.
James Lipton. You probably remember that
Oh,
TV show,
oh,
Inside the Actor
cool.
Studio. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
And
Awesome.
so I always say, I borrowed it from, I stole from him, but then I found out he took it from someone else. So here, yeah,
We all do it. We
we're
all,
all
we all,
collaborating. Yeah,
we're just like, we
I didn't
love
know
what
that.
someone does and we're just passing the love along. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah. Uh, so this is called the quick questions game, and I'll
Okay.
ask you a series of questions, and just answer them as fast as you can. You can elaborate and talk about it a little if you want, but
Me talk about it? I don't know.
yeah,
I'll try.
yeah.
I'll do my best.
All right, so there's 10 of them. Here we go.
Okay.
Answer them the best you can. So number one, what's your favorite film?
I am an old movie buff, so any film from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, I love them all. I don't have one. I just love that whole era.
Wow, that's a good answer.
Thank you.
Only because my favorite movie is from 1959.
What is it?
Ben-Hur, Charlton Heston.
Oh wow. Well, yeah, that's an unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those to me were, see, I'm gonna digress, but those to me were like the best films. I mean, the way they would sing, the way they would dance, the acting. I
Yep.
mean, from Brando to there's so many. I can't
I
even
know.
get into
I know
it.
there are.
You know, they were just genius at what they did. And I've watched probably all of them and watch again just because I'm in awe of such talent. I mean, to me, that was pure talent. They couldn't have sex scenes. They couldn't
Yep.
have tongue and all that stuff back then. You know what I mean? Like they had to do everything through their face, through their eyes. You had to feel that passion. And that
Yes.
is not an easy thing to do.
No. Filmmaking was very difficult back then too. So
Yeah.
it's even more impressive. So if you could choose any song to play every time you walked into a room, what would it be?
Um, I am a big rock and roll chick, so I love AC/DC. So girls got a rhythm, yeah, something upbeat, When I walk in that room, I'm making an entrance.
Love it. What's your favorite smell?
Bakery,
A bakery?
yeah, it smells like
I like that.
comfort, like I don't know, like
Comfort food, yeah.
comfort food, or like you just went to a really good party and you want to eat a little sweets.
Yeah, no, I love that. Fresh baked bread and all that. Yeah, it's
I
great.
love it, fresh pies and cakes. Yeah. I didn't have that in my kitchen growing up. So when I walk in a bakery, I'm like, oh.
If you could choose anyone to play you in a film about yourself, who would it be?
Lucille Ball. Do they have to be alive or could they be dead?
No, anything you want.
Okay, yeah, Lucille Ball.
What would be your weapon of choice during a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, wow. AK-47. That's a big one, right? A big gun?
Yeah, it's automatic. Yeah,
Yeah, one of those,
I like it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite curse word?
Oh, all of them. I do not discriminate.
I'm from Jersey.
I'm from Jersey. What are you talking about? What accent? Whose dog is that?
Yeah, I've got to stop cursing. I curse way too much, as you can see from
Oh,
earlier in the podcast.
I'm doing
trying to stop.
I'm actually proud of myself right now because usually the F-bomb is dropped a lot, but I'm trying to be a lady.
Yeah,
Trying.
and you are, Lady Kelly. But that's my New Year's resolution. I'm trying to stop cursing. It's very hard.
It is hard. It's difficult.
If you could choose one superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh. Probably I would probably grant everybody one wish, but it would have to be a good wish. Like everybody can make a wish, anything they want, but it would have to be good.
Yeah, because that could get really, really bad.
Yeah.
Grant
Like
everyone a
they'll
wish.
be like, okay, well, you're dead, Kelly, so thanks. I'm like, all right, I'll take it back.
Exactly. And that's actually very selfless of you. That's your superpower. You give someone else something. That's nice.
Oh.
Who do you look up to?
God, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Myself. And I'm saying myself because, man, I'm the one that pushes me. I'm the one that's grinding, hustling, living my dream, not giving up. I'm looking up to me to not give up, so
Mm-hmm.
definitely myself. And I'm going to throw props to my husband because he puts my happiness first. So he's a cool dude. Yeah.
Good guy.
And God bless him for living with me. Yeah. God bless him. Yeah. different personalities, thank God, because there couldn't be two Kellys. Yeah.
Trust me.
No.
Same in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different, very different. But opposites attract, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's someone you would like to say thank you to?
Um, God, um, myself, my husband, my family, my friends, and every single person that's believed in me on this journey.
Mm.
And my rescue dog, who has shown me unconditional love. I never had an animal. I don't know. Do you have a dog or
I
cat?
used to. I used to.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I never did. And my husband's like, well, if we're going to get a dog, rescue one, and I rescued this dog. And I mean, this dog has brought such joy to my life. Like, I hope one day I win the lottery so I could save every rescue dog in the world and like
Mm.
put him on a big farm somewhere, let him run around because this dog has changed me so much. Like, I
Wow.
mean, I just love her that much. And she's supposed to be like a 50-pound dog, and she's 80 pounds. So she pretty much walks me. So all the neighbors, like when they see me out, like the kids, they're all laughing because I'm like all over the place. And, she sees the bus and she pulls me. I'm on my side. But yeah, this dog has really brought such joy and shown me really like, I don't
Oh,
think my husband was ever that excited to see me. When I walk in, this dog is just, yeah, amazing. So I want to thank her for showing me that love.
I love it. I can see a comedy film about this down the
Yeah.
road.
We'll
You
talk about
you love
that.
me more than my husband. No.
We can talk about that for sure.
Last question. When you take your last breath and you arrive at the pearly white gates of heaven, what do you want to hear God say to you?
um, you're sitting with me.
Love it. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you so much. This
It's
has
been
been
great.
awesome. I had
Yeah,
a blast. Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing all those stories. A lot of it's personal. It's
Yeah.
this podcast can get deep. It did get deep, and yeah, I appreciate you being open and vulnerable and just sharing your story for everyone to be inspired by and relate to. So
Well,
thank you.
thank you so much. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to do this. I loved it. And
Yeah,
maybe we'll do a part two.
yeah, maybe. Where's the best place for people to follow your journey?
Instagram, Kelly Fine Actor.
All right. This has been an Art and Underdogs podcast with Kelly Fine. See you guys next time.